Hey everybody, welcome to the Suburban Stitcher podcast. My name is Diane, and today is November 15th, 2015. This is episode 106, I think. It's been almost 3 weeks, guys. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I can because so much has happened. It has just been a whirlwind of 2 to 3 weeks here in suburbia. So I hope y'all have had good weeks and good times and getting ready for Thanksgiving. In Texas, let's see, right now it's 75 degrees, supposed to be 81, 82 degrees today. So, still totally appropriate to wear neon fluorescent pink because it feels like it's summer. And capris and Sperry's with no socks. So while the rest of the world is cold and full of fall, we're sending y'all all that cold air. We're just sending it to you. Why? I don't know. I want it. But I think it's supposed to be cool this weekend. I think maybe Saturday and Sunday, the highs are in the mid-60s, which will definitely be the coldest that we've been all year, which I know 66 for a high for some people would be totally warm and you would love it, but for us that is like bring out all the winter stuff. So anyway, I am just enjoying the season that we're in, and even if it's barely fall here, but it is it's always something to enjoy, right? So again, I just want to thank you to new viewers. If you are brand new, I am 100 something episodes in. You're certainly welcome to go back and watch old episodes. What you see today is pretty much the normal thing, and if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. Whether it's your 106th episode or your first, I'm just so grateful that you spend the time with me. I think I only have this one finished object, and it is a pair of socks. My last pair of socks that I finished for Socktober last month, and this pair of socks is called Tortuga Twist, and it's by Turtle Girl 76, Christy Payne, I think, but I could be totally lying. But I have 2 socks, so they fit great, they look good. This is the sock that had the kind of double gusset on the bottom, and I'm really excited. I haven't worn them yet because, you want to keep them nice. I haven't even washed them yet. These are just finished and slid on the blockers. 2 of my Sucra miniatures charms on there. And I used a Poke Me Knot by Jan.B. Smiley on Etsy. You can see that, Poke Me Knot. And I used the yarn is Miracle Jen in the Sidewalk Chalk colorway. So these get to go in the box O socks, which I think I'm now officially done. I think this was maybe either pair 12 or 13. So that is done. Super exciting. Yeah, I am very, very thrilled to have been able to finish that. I'm looking over here. I just remembered that I have a work in progress that I don't think I brought, because I really only worked on it for a day and a half, maybe 2 days. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about work in progress. I really just have a couple of things that I'm working on. Oddly enough, socks. It's because I was just dying to cast on new yarn. So the first, and this is in one of my Just one of my Suburban Stitcher bags. This is the Urban collection that I'll put a pre-order up for these again, maybe, I don't know, maybe next month. I also have a different colorway that I'm going to be doing soon, maybe 2 different colorways. And then the inside is that smaller buffalo check. Super cute. And this is a little donut pin, which just reminds me of Chelsea from Sucre Sucre Miniatures every time I use it. Okay, so this yarn that I cast on is something I got last year at the Hill Country Yarn Crawl, or during the Hill Country Yarn Crawl. It is Savvy Skeins in the Pandemonium colorway on her Pearland base, which is, it's a silver stellina. So here's the colorway, and it's just purples and some orangey golds and turquoise, kind of all blended together there. And here is how it's knitting up. Just totally gorgeous. It is like a fall version of me. I just love it with the plums and the purples, turquoise, and that gold. It's just so pretty and sparkly. And I really, really am enjoying this. I haven't worked on it a ton. You'll see in just a minute what I have spent so much time on. It's just consuming all of my crafting energy right now. And I have one more sock whip, but I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Yes. Yes, indeed. I'm going to talk about that. Not quite this second. The other things that I have been working on really... Oh, wait. First. Hold on. Oh my gosh, there's just so much stuff. Okay, so I cast on a sweater. Or no, well, I did cast on a sweater. That's what I don't have over here, is I started a sweater. I started Puntilla by Joji Locatelli, and I worked on it for 2 days because I thought, Nani Swamo, I'm going to do it. I just didn't have the mojo. There's too much going on in my brain, and that was too long-term of a project. I needed a project kind of still in that clearing thing off the needles and just working with scraps and finishing up things mojo. So, oh my gosh, there's so much talk here on this thing. Okay, so I did work a little bit on this shawl. This is the Parker Street shawl by Soft Sweater, who is Sylvia McFadden. And this is out of Madeline Tosh Merino. It's not a Tosh Merino anything. It is the 80-10-10 worsted. So it's an MCN worsted weight base in the tart colorway. I had like 1,600 yards of this for a sweater. I don't know. This isn't a Diane sweater color. I mean, it's pretty. It's beautiful. I don't know. I know I would never have pulled it to wear. And I'm not going to knit an MCN sweater that I never wear. I've already knit one of those that I never wear. So I thought a shawl would be great because it's just an accessory, and I wanted a big kind of worsted to Aran weight cushy shawl. So Parker Street has some lace. I've been working on this for a couple of months. I did an extension. This is one of those that has chart A, chart B, and chart C. You do chart A once. The pattern calls for you to do chart B twice. I'm actually doing it 3 times, and then I'll move on to chart C. I'm over halfway done with my extra repeat of chart B, and then I'll move on to chart C. It's going swimmingly. I just, again, as you'll see in a minute, have had only knitting mojo for other things. So I love it. I love how big it's going to be and how squishy and wonderful. It's going to be just a cashmere blend squishy schlanket. So that's exciting. Okay, so on to what I have really been working on. Sock blankets galore, scrap blankets. So I pulled out, kind of have all of my scrap blankets in different, oh, I'm going to have to pause. You won't really know because I'm pausing, but I'm going to pause. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so I have four sock yarn scrap blankets going. They each have a different purpose, each for different kinds of yarns. Yes. So here is why I have three. I have one that is this one that I keep kind of all my stuff for it in this basket. And this is my pretty pink and purple and girly, or just colors that I'm drawn to. Blues, you know, whatever. But it's just kind of pretty girly, fun. I think it's actually technically this way, but whatever. So you can see I put some pandemonium in there. Let's see, what did I do this time? I did pandemonium for sure. I added in, oh, this is some of my Spun Right Round Clairvoyant. This is Spun Right Round, I think Prism Escape. It was most of the end of that. And then this was a mini from Shayna Lines from Lemonade Shop. So added those in, and clearly I still have like a basket full of all the pretty pastel lovely minis and just leftovers and things that are going in here. So that's one that I worked on. Let's just say that for now. I also worked on these over here. The reason I kind of pulled this one out was because I bought 2 new packages of minis from Desert Vista Dye Works. I forget which series is which, but one is like mysteries and one is historical or something. I don't remember. I don't know. But I just loved the colors in this one because it was lots of pinks. This color in particular is called Big Magic, and oh my gosh, I totally love it. See that one? Isn't that pretty? There we go. So that one and this one. This is kind of Hello Lovelies, but it's applicable now. So I got these, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to work on that blanket. So I pulled it out, and I put on, let's see. Okay, so I put on this square, which is Cherry Blossom, and this was a gift from Amber, Yarn Hoarder. And if you have not watched her podcast, which I think there's like 8,000 subscribers already, so I'm sure you are. If you're watching me, you're probably watching Amber. But if you're not, then you should. Yarn Hoarder podcast. Yarn Hoarder Amber, and it's called Cherry Blossom. This one is one of my new ones. I knit this on election day because it just seemed like patriotic, the right colors. And this is called Founding Mothers, appropriately enough. And this one that I cast this one on also on election day while I was watching the returns. And then I poked a hole. I actually had 2 holes in my finger because I'm using signature needles. They are sharp. So I had to stop knitting this one. But this one is, I don't remember where it came from or what it's called, but it's sort of these like tropical pinks and peach and pink and yellow. And it's going to be like that. So this is my scrap blanket that is all Desert Vista Dye Works minis and leftovers, because I have that many. So here it stands right now. It's pretty big. These squares are, much larger than the other blanket. I am doing 64 stitch squares on size 3 millimeters. Which I think is a US 2.5. I do have a project page for this project. It is the only mitered square blanket that I have a project page for. It links to the pattern that I've been using kind of as a guide, and just gives you my stitch count, which is 64. This one is different from a lot of the other ones out there, is that because it's an even number that you cast on, 64, you actually are doing 2 decrease stitches in the middle. So you don't get that one kind of stitch up like that. This is just 2. And it's in garter stitch, the decrease. So you get the decrease line, and you obviously get the squared look or arrowhead look, but it's 2 stitches instead of 1, if that makes sense. But I love it. I just love all the stripey, wonderful goodness. And I kind of half of these are things that I've knit with and half are gifts and other things. So it's fun. I'm really, really enjoying this one. So that is a blanket square. Oh, and let me just say, in comparison, this one is 44 stitches on smaller needles. So that's the size difference. You can tell very much so. There's one square on that one. On bigger, 64 stitches on 3 millimeters and 44 stitches on 2.5 millimeters. Just for those who are asking, because I always get questions about how many stitches I'm using, what count, what size needles. This one uses less than 10 grams, usually about 8 to 9 grams, and these use anywhere between 2 and 4 grams a piece. So that's that on those 2 blankets. The third blanket that I have going is, and this one actually started first, and I haven't worked on it in so long and finally pulled it back out, and I'm just loving it. This one I love because it's way more portable. This is my barn raising blanket. So I did this square, which is a Miss Babs colorway. I think it's called A Pox on You. Minerva Turkey, Shannon, and I did a swap a couple of years ago where we bought like 6 or 7 minis. We just split the cost of 6 or 7 of Miss Babs, like heel toe or toe skeins or whatever. I want to say they're like 30 something grams a piece. And we split them in half and swapped them. And this is what we got. So we each got one of these. This is the barn raising quilt pattern that is part of a book. It is not a standalone pattern. It is only part of a book. It is available, through your library. I think Amazon, that I don't know the name of the service, but the one where you pay like $10 a month and you can borrow unlimited numbers of books from Amazon per month. I think it's on that list as well. This does have a project page in my Ravelry, and so you can find the name of the pattern and, find it, search it there. I don't have it. I got it from my library. So that's that. I do not know how I'm joining them yet. One thing that I have changed from the pattern is I am now doing the pinhole cast on, which gives it a closed cast on like that. Some of my early squares have, and I'll show you, because this project is being kept in this Longaberger picnic basket. Huge. And this is where I have tons of minis. Oh my gosh, so many. Okay, so you can see that some of my early squares have that hole, which I don't mind. I don't care that there's going to be some with it and some without. It doesn't bother me. But now that I know how to do the pinhole cast on, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of them with that cast on. So I think now I have 24 squares for that blanket. which is pretty fun. And then I started, and I had virtually no leftovers from that yarn. I started, and I have like 2 more rounds in the bind off of a second square. And this one is out of some Desert Vista, Somebody's Jumping in the Leaves, I believe. So it's those lovely autumnal pumpkin-y colors, which are beautiful. And so for 2 rows and a bind off, I have plenty left out of that one. And I've already done, I'm almost positive. Yes, see, I've already done one on my blanket, my Desert Vista blanket, which is why I knew that I had enough to do one of these squares. And so now this all leads us to my 4th scrap blanket. This is like a crazy process, right? My 4th scrap blanket is my crocheted big, huge granny square blanket. On the front, which is this. And it is just a giant square. I started in the middle, and I'm just magic knotting yarn on as I run out and crocheting big giant granny squares. So there is absolutely no rhyme or reason to how the yarn goes on, except for that, like this had a kind of several rows of sort of pastel and lighter colors, and so I tried to pick a yarn next that was a little darker in color and weight, just to give it some visual interest. But I'm not trying to do even number of rounds. I'm not really, other than every once in a while switching from light to dark just because that is visually more appeasing to me. That's my only plan. So let me back up a little bit. You'll be able to see here that, okay, so like some of these right here, that little like speckled row, and it was like maybe a quarter of a round or half of a round, was the leftover spun right round prism escape. So I just added that on. Then I had this ball of some Halloween kind of orange and black that I just added on. Then the rest of the lemonade shop that I used on the little girly blanket, I used that. I had a bunch of leftovers of some Desert Vista, this one, which is, I think, Somebody's Poppin' the Cork. This one, which is golds and silvers with zombie stripes. So you can see the golds, zombie stripe, and then it's kind of silvers, and they lined up a little bit too, which is pretty cool. So there's really, like I said, there's really no rhyme or reason. This is just my scrap eater. So when I've fulfilled the other blanket and I've put what I want to put in to, whether it's my little pastel pretty girly blanket, or it's my Desert Vista blanket, or it is my barn raising, whatever is left, I think I have like a 2 gram minimum. I mean, if it's just, you know, a yard, I am not putting it in, I'm just chunking it. But if it's a decent size, you know, a couple little grams, magic knot that bad boy on here and just keep on crocheting. So you can see that I am kind of left myself a little tail, and once I get another little scrap that is probably going to try to go for something a little lighter, maybe do one more round of a lighter skein, and then I will crochet that on. So this is my scrap eater, and it's super fun, and I think that's because I am literally using all little bits of my leftovers right now. Super fulfilling, which is why, I don't know, I think that's why I haven't really been working on socks a ton or other projects a ton, because whatever is happening in my brain that is needing to like finish things up and use it all and be done with it, like this is so fulfilling right now. So I am This may go next, I don't know. But when I'm done with this, then this will get put on right here and a crochet around. Actually, I probably won't do this next because I don't know that I want 2 zombie skeins in a row. I'll probably break it up a little bit. But that's about all the planning that goes into it. So anyway, and I've been using some scraps, some of which that I got from Seashore Sharon a couple of years ago, like this one. This will be my next dark skein to go in. And actually, this is probably enough to make a mitered square. I may make a mitered, not a mitered square, what is this? Barn raising. I may make a barn raising first and then use the leftovers. I don't know. But for those who are wondering, I am using a size D hook, which is a 3mm. And this is a Chowgu, and I love it. I like the little paddle. It's just super comfortable. I like the wood because it warms up in my hand. It's not as hard as like a plastic or a polymer clay. Like this, just the wood warms up and feels soft. And I totally enjoy everything about that hook and the project. So I think that's it for barn raising squares. When I went to go, this was the project that I had to pause the tape for. When I went to go get it, I found the other 2 projects that I've been working on. It was that puntilla sweater that I told you about, which I'll show again another time. And it's also the pair of socks the one last pair of socks that I had still remaining on the needles at the end of October. I finished one and I'm on to the second one, and they're Christmas sock blank socks. So, okay, so let's move into Hello Lovelies. I have several lovely things to show you this week that have come in the mail, and things that are just making me happy right now, and as the grocery girls would say, a party in my mailbox. So I wanted to try out a dyer that I can't remember if someone used this yarn on Instagram, and then I just searched it, found the dyer, and loved it. I'm not really exactly certain how I found this dyer, but I'm really excited that I did. This is Piraten wool. This is a German dyer, very European sock yarn. I will show you the name because I'm most certainly not saying it correctly. But here's the thing about this. This is 100 grams, 420 meters, 75% wool. And so this feels kind of like an opal or a regia. Like it is a sturdy, I'm going to say probably closest to opal. I mean, it's not merino soft, which is a-okay with me for socks. But it is 75% wool, 25% polyamide. And her prices to get this shipped to me from Germany with the conversion rate, with shipping, I paid less than $19. Yeah. So I got this Christmas colorway because I was she just numbers her colors. Like this is 353 and she dyes like 1 or 2 of each time she dyes it. She may never dye it again. And so it's, if you see it and you like it, then you get it right then. Which is a very freeing way of creating, as we'll talk about in a minute. Just kind of one-offs. Like this is what it is. So here is the color, and it's just these greens with sort of this yellowy color and these splashes of red. And I just love it. I'm really excited to cast this on. I think December is going to be all about just Christmas socks and Christmas yarn for me. These actually may end up being for a boy or for my husband. Because that sturdy wool, maybe for Josh, because that sturdy wool would be really good for him. So that's new, and I will link this shop in the show notes because I know I didn't say it correctly. Another thing, speaking of good sturdy wool, is I got this yarn off of eBay, and it is from the Sweet and Spicy. This is the only color that I wanted when this series of Opal came out many months ago. This was the color that I wanted. It's sort of these papaya, mango-y reds, salmon-y reds, and purples, and then that little bit of yellow and black in there. I just love it. I love the Sweet and Spicy series because I like the way that they stripe and gradient. They're increasingly hard to find, and I was really happy to get this one, so I got this. And let's talk about the little party in my mailbox item. This is from, and I want to read this letter. This is from the Sexy Knitter, which I think is a great name. She sent this to me for review and to be able to share some information with you. This is from Sarah, who is the Sexy Knitter, and she has her Etsy shop. She sent me a knitter's tool tin, and then I'll show you all of the details in a minute. But what I want to say for sure are there's 85 styles of this available, which is crazy amazing. They can feature knits, fiber animals, yarn, fiber, and humorous sayings. The sheep tape measures are brand new, and you can purchase them individually or as part of the tin. Each tin includes everything that the knitter needs to knit on the go. With the holidays coming up, it would certainly be a great gift. And then she also sells sock yarn mini skein sets, stitch marker bracelets, knitting notions, and coming soon she will have art bats. So I am putting this up today, but the amazing thing is that she has given us as a Suburban Stitcher podcast a discount code. Let's see. Okay, so the discount code, which will be just for a very, very short period of time, and I will put the exact dates in the show notes, but the code is going to be Suburban Stitcher. It's good for 20% off of any purchase, $20 or more. So it says, let's see what she say. Please let your followers know that this coupon is valid for 3 days following your post. You do not need, let's see. Okay, so 3 days following my post. I'm sorry. I want to make sure that I give you all the correct stuff. So here, without further ado, cute little, I love her logo because it's a sexy knitter with a high heel and the knitting ball and yarn. She puts it in this cute little like brown paper package tied with a string. And this is the, what does she call it correctly? The Knitter's Tool Tin. So I picked this purple kind of gradient yarn. Shocker. There was all sorts of cute ones with, I could have gotten sheep or sayings or like funny humorous things on there. Okay, so she gives us a little information about the scissors. When you open it up, this is what you see. So there's a magnet here holding 3 different sizes of darning needles. There is a needle gauge that is personalized to her. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. It's a yarn ball, needle gauge, and on the back it has her website, sexyknitteretsy.com, and then all the different needle sizes. This is the cute little sheep measuring tape that she was talking about. Super cute. And then these are the scissors. These are like I tried these out. These are so much sharper and nicer than those little like puppy snips and cat snips that have kind of been around for years. These are infinitely better. This is almost worth the entire, this and the needle gauge are almost worth the entire package to me. There's a slew of stitch markers. There are these little row counter marker. There are, let's see, 5 of these kind of paper star markers. There's 4 or 5 of these locking plastic stitch markers. There is this to put needles on hold, or stitches on hold. There is a cable needle for holding cables. And there is a little 2-sided crochet hook, perfect for picking up dropped stitches. Seriously, every single thing you could possibly need in one compact, amazing little package. So I just want to thank you, Sarah, so much for your generosity, for sending me this to review. Just amazing. And I didn't pack it in here perfectly, but everything does fit, obviously. Just beautiful. I love what's in here. I love the idea of it, and that you can literally throw this in your bag and everything you need for notions is in this one spot. So super exciting. I will have all of the information linked. Discount code, which is Suburban Stitcher, all one word, all in the show notes. So that was exciting. And then the other things that are making me happy right now are just things that I have been enjoying lately personally. So one is with this hair, and if y'all haven't guessed it, I will go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. And it's, unfortunately, it's delayed by just a little bit because, you know, sometimes you have to be an adult and pay bills instead of get your hair done. So right now, I'm delaying all of this by, maybe a couple of weeks because I've got to just really want to get a couple of medical bills paid off before I am doing any more crazy hair stuff. But I'm going to have pink hair. So excited. I got lots of comments about people that didn't really love the blonde, which is okay. It's not my favorite either. But it is an in-between to be pink, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I have always wanted pink hair or colored hair of some sort, and I've never not had a boss that told me I couldn't, and now I'm my own boss, and my boss says that I can. So I'm going to. So anyway, one thing that I'm discovering with having this lighter hair is I definitely have to have makeup on every day. I mean, if I'm leaving the house, to look awake and decent. The other thing that is key is lipstick, and I have had the best time just discovering and buying new lipsticks and fun colors. So I'm really embracing this like pink and purple thing. So this right now that I just got this morning actually at the store is super fun and I love it. And this is all grocery store stuff because I like to save a pretty penny. But this is Katy Cat Matte, which is Katy Perry lipstick. This is the Kitty Purry colorway. And I really like it. I think it's super fun. This is probably as pastel pinky pink that I would go. I've tried to do like lighter and it doesn't look good for me. The other reason I like this one is that it's matte. It's not glittery, shiny, but I think it looks cute. So that is really fun. Another one that I've enjoyed lately is this colorway. This is Rimmel, and it's a lip gloss. It's sort of a mauvey, purpley color. The color is called My Eternity. So this one's super fun. And then this one is, I'm not gonna lie, I bought it just for the name, and it's actually beautiful. This one is a shiny, but because it's darker and more purple, I like it. Because light, glittery pink, like very pastel baby pink, doesn't look as good on me. But if it leans more purple, then it's better. So this color is called On the Mauve, and it is by Maybelline. So those are some fun lipsticks that I've been enjoying, which is the silliest thing to like, but you know, it is true that if you can put yourself together, even if you don't have time to do anything else, put some lipstick on and it just makes you look a little more awake and a little more ready to face the day. And the last thing that I have been enjoying a lot lately are all of my fall and pumpkin spicy scents for my infuser. So I have all of my essential oils that I have just been loving and making up new blends. And these are kind of the ones that I can't live without this season. These are all Young Living, Thieves, Clove, Cinnamon Bark, Christmas Spirit, Ginger, Nutmeg, and then Orange. And I do different blends every day and just try new things. I am a distributor for Young Living, and so if you are interested or have questions, I can certainly try my best to answer any questions that you might have, but I use these every day, and I love them because it just makes the house smell so cozy and yummy and full of fall, even when it is 82 degrees outside. So that is that. Those are my Hello Lovelies for this week. The last little bit that I want to talk about is shop news. And I will say that if you are not interested in shop news, then you certainly can leave, and I appreciate you watching. But I will say that this shop news is considerably more exciting than normal, so I really hope you stay. I am dyeing yarn. That's really the only way to say it. I have started dyeing some yarn, and it's fun, and I think that I like it enough and that I feel confident enough about it to be able to put some in the shop. My dream just in the last, really probably since the beginning of this year, has been to be able to give you as a customer more things from the Suburban Stitcher brand. And I would love to be able to do my own kits. And this certainly will help me do that. So I have just had the best time. You've seen on Instagram that I have, been showing off some things that I've been doing. The first two things that I did, and I'm just experimenting with different techniques and different colors. And so the first thing I did was this green, kind of Kelly green, pretty solid. There's a little bit of variation, but it's just a pretty solid Kelly green. And I'm using, I only use like half skeins, so I don't want to waste a whole skein just in case it comes out horrible. So I did this solid, which I'm very happy with. And I wanted some Christmas yarn, so I just took some of the colors that I got and made a speckled Christmas yarn. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I love the colors. It's sort of a winter green Christmas. Here it is in the cake. So it has some of those Kelly greens, but also has some speckles of red, kind of a limey green, and then every once in a while, you'll see this little aqua blue that I threw in there. Not a lot of that blue, but just enough to get it every now and then. So that is, it doesn't have a name necessarily. Maybe it is sort of like a spearmint Christmas. That's kind of what it, spearmint speckle, something like that. So that is kind of the first thing that I did, trying out two very different techniques. The other things that I want to show you, and I'm just showing these because it's exciting for me, but these are not necessarily things that can ever get recreated, or, maybe I'll have them in the shop, maybe I won't. I don't even know yet, because I have only done this one. So I wanted to do kind of a pink and gray skein. And what came out with my first attempt was this, which is not really pink and barely gray. But it is gorgeous, and I love it. Again, this is only, 50 grams. This one, if I wrote down what I did, I plan to try to recreate it because I love it that much. But if I can, this one is called Accidental Plum because it was really intended to be pastel pink and gray. But it turned out to be this, and it's beautiful. So, and I love that you can see like there's some gray touches in there. I'm just very pleased with this one, even though it was an accident. This is the exact same colors in different concentrations, which this is the part of dyeing that is just like amazing to me. Exact same colors, different concentrations, and that's what you get. So this is a little bit closer to what I was going for. It's definitely a pink and gray skein. This one doesn't have a name, just experiment number 4. That is that. So, I've got, out of the 4 things I've dyed, I have a solid, I have a speckled, and I have these sort of gradient, variegated, not gradient, variegated kettle dyed. I don't know if they're speckled or not, but just sort of variegateds. I'm really, really excited about them and very pleased with how it all came out. As far as bags, this week all of the peppermint mocha bags will be in the mail by Friday. I'll say by Saturday. By Friday they should be done, whether their post office and everything picks them up, but that's just the logistics of the mail. But they will be done in the mail this Friday, Saturday for sure. Maybe even earlier. I have a couple of things. I have the reindeer, cute little reindeer out of this fabric. I still have some pre-orders for this in the shop. These will not get worked on and probably not mailed until the week after Thanksgiving. I put that in the listing, but just a reminder that if you ordered this in the pre-order listing for this, then this will ship the week after Thanksgiving. I have some other really exciting fabrics coming up. So excited. I would show them to you, but they are underneath my computer right now. And then these things, these have been sitting in the shop for a week, and I just have to show them off on the show because apparently nobody wants them, but I think they're stinking cute. They're these really pretty kind of navy blue with cream colored, I called it Spirograph Snowflake because it just looks like that like pin spirograph thing, that toy. And then it's got the lining with these pretty words and sayings in navy blue. I just think they're super cute, the little Notions bags. And there are 2 of them ready to ship in the shop. You could have them before the weekend. So they would ship as soon as you buy them, within a day. And there's lots of other lovely things in the shop as well. Whip minders, there are some bags, lots of drawstring bags right now. And the reindeer pre-orders, the teacup kits with the stitch markers. So go out there and get them. Thank y'all so much, so much for, one big thing I didn't say is my intent is to have a shop update next Wednesday, which would be the day before Thanksgiving. Let me look at the date for that. It's the 23rd, November 23rd. In a perfect world, I would absolutely love to have yarn in that update. I don't know what that will look like, if that will happen, or if it will just be bags. But there will for sure be a shop update on Wednesday. And yes, there will be a shop update on Wednesday, the 23rd. Bags and or yarn. So I hope that you come out and support me and my shop. Thank you so much, as always. Viewers and knitters are some of the best people, and I am so appreciative of the love and support that you give me in this podcast and my little business. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.